Welcome back to On the Issues. The Garfield Organization recently participated in a project with Arizona State University to create a video project that documents their neighborhood's partnership with the city and nonprofits to help revitalize their community. Here to tell us more about the project and their revitalization efforts are Kim Moody, a founding member of the Garfield Organization, and Roberto Freitz from the Neighborhood Services Department. Gentlemen, thank you for being here. How are you doing this morning?
Great, Councilman. Thanks for inviting us.
Good. You know, I'm glad to have you on the show. You know, we kind of talking a little bit earlier about Garfield. Kim, you are one of the founding members of Garfield. I think Garfield is probably now one of the most diverse little communities that we have in the city.
And getting even more diverse.
Yes. Go ahead, Kim.
Well, the diversity you're speaking of, one of the most recent things is the expansion of and creation of an art district overlay. And we really appreciate the council supporting that plan to create an opportunity for artists to live, work, as an opportunity to move into downtown and create a more dynamic art.
That's great. And Roberto, you've actually been involved with Garfield for a long time, representing the city of Phoenix.
Yes, I have. I've been working with the Garfield neighborhood since 1995, and we've seen a tremendous change since that time up to now. The number of people that have continued, that continue to get involved with the organization includes ASU students who have become involved with the Garfield organization and have become members of the Garfield Organization Board of Directors and have actually led the organization over the years. The current president of the Garfield Organization is a PhD student from ASU. So we see the tremendous influence of ASU not only in supporting the community, but participating in the community and continue the revitalization efforts.
Well, the city of Phoenix played a huge role in the Garfield with some of the revitalization efforts that we've actually done in that area and some of the programs that we have. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that, Kim?
Well, going back to the attitude of in Neighborhood Services Department's outreach and inclusion of the residents of the neighborhood in its redevelopment plans. That was a really first builder of community building that created a sense of, okay, the neighborhood is partner with the city and with Neighborhood Services Department. It's been that partnership that has grown in the capacity building of the board and of the organization and of the neighborhood.
And Garfield Organization has existed how long?
Well, just a little bit before Roberto was on board.
Several years before, probably dating back to about 1986, 89.
Yeah, but you know, tell me a little bit about the video and the partnership with ASU that they came out and talked about, you know, the culture, the history of the Garfield neighborhood.
Well, the title of the film being Garfield, and we'd like to add the suffix of rising, Garfield Rising, as shows a sense of partnership that we reached out to the neighborhood, reached out to the university and said, as partner, as a neighbor, would you like to help us be able to create something that your students would be able to look at and be able to get a little bit of a background past and a little bit of the present and a little bit of our aspirations. So basically in a 12-minute YouTube type video, they were able to create something for us that we were real pleased with at the end product.
And when we actually talk about the Garfield neighborhood, we're really talking about one of the older neighborhoods in the city of Phoenix, but we're talking about the growth and the revitalization of a neighborhood at one time that people really had tried to write off.
You know, back in 1995, 94, when we brought in the state's first weed and seed grant to Garfield, Garfield neighborhood was the most violent area in the city of Phoenix. Working over the next 10, 12, 13 years with the community, that neighborhood has cleaned up considerably as a result of our neighborhood initiative area efforts, the revitalization efforts in terms of rehabbing homes, building new homes, acquisition of vacant land for infill, capacity building with the neighborhood. We've seen tremendous change, Councilman, you know, as you say, and as you notice in the Garfield community.
Yeah. You know, when I was on the police department, I worked Garfield just for a little while when it was the old Sky Harbor Neighborhood Association, Sky Harbor Police Station. I worked out of there, and that was part of Garfield. And then when I went to homicide, one of my first homicides that I had was actually in Garfield right over there by the market. There was a house right behind there that they had one, so that was one of my first homicides that I took over there. But you know, that neighborhood has changed so much, and the good thing about it is that, you know, as we talk about our downtown area and we talk about what's going on, Garfield is a part of the downtown area. It is not what community where we can say that there's been gentrification, but it's a community that has integrated within the downtown area. And I'm really proud of that Garfield community and the people there who have lived there and continue to live there, and also for their integration of others to come in and actually live in the area.
And I think that's one thing we're so very proud of about the Garfield neighborhood is its inclusiveness, how everybody is welcome there across the board. And everybody that lives in that community supports it in one way or another, whether they're participating in community cleanups, whether they're participating in the leadership of the organization or helping set new goals and strategies for the community. It's a very inclusive neighborhood, and we're really proud to have built the relationship with the Garfield neighborhood over the years, with Kim and a lot of his partners in that community to help remake that community into the community it is today.
Yeah, Kim, I just want to take a quick moment just to, you know, I talked about it a little bit earlier, but I just want to take a quick moment to personally thank you and the other members of the Garfield Neighborhood Association, because, you know, really when I first got elected to office 10 years ago, and all of the things that are going on downtown didn't exist. And when we talked about putting the stadium in, and we met with the community, Garfield played a vital role in looking at what we wanted to do with the stadium. We didn't get the stadium, but however, we did talk about with the neighborhood, you know, what we wanted downtown, you know, how we would master plan that area, how we would do an arts district there. And really that is the start of what happened downtown, because before that happened, you didn't have ASU, you didn't have U of A, you didn't have the medical school, you didn't have the Children's Museum downtown. All we had downtown as a major event was First Friday. And that was the major event and the activities that you had in the Garfield neighborhood.
Well, thank you, Councilman. We really appreciate that observation, because it was a situation where that seems like as a result of that discussion and dialogue back and forth, we were able to have that use of land now much cheaper, being able to be given to the universities right. and the biodiversity and the biotech campus. So that was a real good opportunity for growth for both us. Yeah. And the Arts District has only gone beyond that and expanded to its building capacity for people to live and to work downtown as artists. And they've had a great input into both the neighborhood in its signs and its sculpture, and an upcoming project that we're working with the city on in terms of neighborhood services departments kind of guiding us in the 11th Street project. Right. There's going to be a major project and uplift for the neighborhood.
Well, that's good. You know, Verde Park's there. There's a lot of activity there. I just want to just thank you. You know, thank you both for coming on the show. But I want to commend you, because I want you to know that downtown would not be the downtown that it is today if we didn't have good, strong community organizations, good, strong community leaders like yourself and others in the Garfield Neighborhood Association who have been so actively involved in revitalizing not only Garfield, but revitalizing the downtown area. So I just wanted to thank you and commend you guys for that, because I don't think that's said enough for you for what you've done. And I don't know if you realize the commitment and the activity that you made here. So thank both of you for coming on the show. And again, Kim, I want to thank you, and please pass that on to, you know, the rest of the members of the Neighborhood Association, because there have been many, many great people who have been leaders in that community who have stood up and stood up strong to represent it.
Well, on behalf of all those, and especially Lupe Cisneros, who guided us all through it, thank you very much, Councilman.
Okay. Coming up next, we'll learn how to stay busy during the summer months at our city parks, pools, and community centers. Keep watching On the Issues.